cook kale. First of all, we're going to be steaming this kale in this pot, and I'm going to cut it up into smaller bite-sized pieces so it'll be easier to eat. I pretty much never eat raw kale. It's too hard to chew, and it's really not that appetizing to me. But steamed kale is really good with some vinegar, maybe a little bit of pepper, whatever you like on it. And a lot of people will rip the stems out, and there's a good reason for this. These stems are hard to chew, but the reason they're hard to chew is because they're full of fibers that run along the length of the stem from the top to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'd rather preserve the nutrition in that stem rather than throw it away because it's hard to chew, and try to eat it if I can. And I've done this many times, and the way I do it is I just cut the stem into smaller pieces. I cut the whole thing into smaller pieces. And there you have it, folks. This is the first leaf, and as you can see, the stem is still in there. I just cut it to about a piece, maybe an inch. Some of them are smaller than that. You see, just little pieces. And when this cooks, this will get soft, and it's easy to chew. What makes it difficult to chew is that those long fibers are intact. And when you cut them, there's nothing to it. I mean, see, it gets smaller as you get closer to the leaf, and you won't even notice that's in there. And there's lots of nutrition in there, I'm sure. So you might as well eat it if you're going to pay for it when you buy it fresh. Now I'm going to do that to the rest of this kale. I also wanted to point out that a lot of times the leaves are really narrow instead of being really broad. And so if you were to tear the stem out of this thing, there really wouldn't be much left, just a little tiny bit of leaf. So get what you're paying for, and just cut that stem up into bite-sized pieces. And when you steam it, you won't even notice it. You can eat a lot more kale steamed than you could possibly eat if it was raw. Here's the rest of that pile, and as you can see, the stem's cut up into bite-sized pieces. Those fibers are going to be real easy to chew. Got this on the stove. Probably used about 2 cups of water. I don't mind if there's a little bit extra water in there, honestly, because there'll be more broth when it's done, more kale broth. There's nutrients in that liquid, and I like to drink it when it's hot, especially when it's cold outside. It's delicious. Alright, this has been on about 25 minutes, and I did cut it down after about 10 minutes of being on medium-high down to low. And I tossed a couple mushrooms, or 1 mushroom sliced in half in there. Got that kale with some coarse ground black pepper. I'm going to hit it with some apple cider vinegar, those mushrooms. Got half of my potato fries, the other half still in the oven, and even more potatoes. You know, we got to have enough food, so we're not running out of potatoes. We're not running out of food. We got plenty of potatoes, plenty of cabbage, plenty of kale.